Hello guys, welcome back. Um, I thought of having this quick recap for innovation management since due to COVID, there has been a huge gap between the final examination and the lecture completion. Hence, because of your request, I thought of doing this quick recap. And as you know, that first few lectures of this lecture series were dedicated for mid-semester exam, and the rest of the lectures focusing the final exam, as I mentioned at the beginning of the lecture series. There, I believe by now you may have obtained or you may have received the mini case study that is coming your final examination, and if not, please check with the administration on that. Um, there are mainly I'll share some of the things that which are very important from your lectures as a recap. There, especially when you're answering a question something like case study, you need to have a proper understanding about the business model canvas that we discussed during the lecture series. There, in the lecture number 7, in the lecture notes I shared with you, you can see uh, that's a value proposition diagram I discussed how to do it, and also how to construct a business model canvas out of the value proposition diagram. So whenever you have such a case study kind of a question, you should understand how to develop a uh, value proposition diagram out of that case, where you should understand what is the customer segment that customer requirements that they are going to address, and when you are doing that, how they are going, what are the pain areas that they are going to address, and the gain that the customers get out of that, and with respect to that, what are the gain creators and what are the pain creators, and in order to at the end of the day, in order to satisfy customer functions, what is the product or service that the particular offering has. That is the whole idea of that you need to understand, that you need to have when you're developing a value proposition diagram. When coming back to business model canvas, one of the main important fact is you need to have a proper understanding about the 9 areas, how they are interconnected. And you should understand, before coming to business model canvas, you should have a proper preparation of the value proposition diagrams. In the value proposition diagrams, you are understanding what is your best customer segment. Then you need to understand what are the values that you will be delivering to each and every customer segment you have identified. Then you need to understand how you are planning to create the relationship with the customer, and then on which modes, either online or any other mechanism, that you are going to deliver that value to the customer in order to maintain that relationship. And to do that right side activities, you need to then you need to understand, okay, what are the partners you need to get engaged, and also what are the activities and the resources you are having in order to perform those activities. And while obtaining those things, you need to understand, you need to have proper understanding about costs that incurred, as well as finally you need to have a proper understanding about how you are going to make money out of this activity. So this is the simple idea about how we are going to develop business model canvas for a given case using the value proposition diagram. So I believe you need to you will I believe you will go through the lecture notes again and again and try to memorize what the examples that we have done during the classroom. And also, if you analyze Sri Lankan market, you know that there are so many disruptive innovations occur during the recent past few years. For example, Uber came to market, then a Picnic came, then came like kangaroo. The kangaroo was always there, but Then came like SLT Move, and also in the food industry also Uber and Pick Me Pay. They are struggling with each other, competing each other. There are so many other disruptive innovation like Wow, Wickman, and other platforms also came into picture by disrupting the existing conventional markets in Sri Lankan segment. So you did have a understanding about those stuff when you're especially preparing a profession, something like that, which is based on business model canvas. Then we had our discussion towards the basic tool sets in innovation management. One such tool is a technique is differentiation. As you know, the differentiation is all about distinguishing product offerings or services from each other, each competitors' product or services. There are there are a couple of reasons that people need to focus on differentiation, because you know uh, the sometimes most of the companies offering same type of product or services which are having uh, in order to compete them, you need to have you need to change some features on that in order to outcompete your competitors. And also you need to have a proper strategy of defending price level decreasing. And also you need to have a strategy to align with the or rather adapting to changing environment in this innovation culture, because with the technological enhancement, other um, uh, needs and wants changing in people, their requirements are changing rapidly. So you need to adhere to that change, and you need to come up with differentiated product or services that you offer. Hence, we need differentiation. And there we mainly discuss about price and product and services in our discussion. And there we uh, under price and product differentiation, we discussed about mainly a couple of features like price, for the form or the appearance that they experience, the features in it. And also when coming back to services, also we discuss about um, the ordering easiness, the way its delivery happens, and installation likewise. And especially if you try to combine this to, or rather apply this to a real world scenario. For example, just imagine if you have a textile industry, and which is you can apply mainly uh, product that is textiles, and how you are going to apply that sort of product differentiation techniques for that industry, as well as in the textile industry, how the service component coming into picture nowadays, because not like good old days. Nowadays, everything has a service component in it, not just the product, physical product we are focusing, but the service we gain, and how we can plug the new technology like VR and AR into that segment, and give more um, experience, novel experience to people, is the thing that you need to understand when you're applying these things into a practical or rather real world scenarios. Then we had a discussion about another important technique called disruptive innovations. So coming back to disruptive innovation, actually it's all about disrupting existing or other conventional market or traditional markets in order to provide more value to the customers. At the end of the day, it provides a simple, affordable solution for the customer problems. Then why we need to worry about that? Because recent past has taught us so many lessons. There are incumbent who were thinking about their good old traditional product, those have been disrupted by startups, especially for example the one of the famous incumbent like cable TV or other dish TV people was disrupted by Netflix nowadays rapidly in a very barbaric manner, and also Google Chromecast. And the incumbent players like in chip manufacturing section, that is Intel, were disrupted by AR processors. And also there was one software incumbent like Microsoft having no OneNote, having maintained their monopoly in the market, but it was soon disrupted by Evernote application, and as a result, Microsoft also allowed their OneNote application free to use in both Android and iOS platforms. So there are so many case studies we can understand in the industry that Disruptive has made a considerable impact on their normal business. And also that is why our one of the famous innovator, Steve Jobs, mentioned that if you do not cannibalize yourself, somebody else somebody else will do, which means that if you do not think about changing your conventional portfolio, then definitely your competitor will do it. And if your competitor does, then you will be too late to catch up the lost market share. And this can be applied to any of the industry, like I mentioned that the software, telco, maybe and chip manufacturing, technological sector, any sector, it works. And as a result, these iPhone Apple people, they made example by themselves by changing their iPod series from shuffle to uh, nano to classic to touch to finally iPhone. That level of classic cannibalization they made in their own products. And product cannibalization is one of the very very important point or other area that innovators or other marketeers should think, because otherwise with this current competition, definitely will be cannibalized by your competitors. If you do not cannibalize, think of cannibalizing your own product portfolio. And especially when coming during the lecture class, we learn about one of the very important model that is called cable and telco model, where how the OTT players, new players in the market, disrupted the conventional business, where telcos has conventional business like voice or the voice and the messages and the content streaming like dish cable TV scenarios. But normally entire voice and messaging platforms, that business ecosystem has been invaded by web applications like Viber and chatting applications like WhatsApp, WeChat, something like that line. And the content streaming like normal cable TV things have been invaded by Netflix, YouTube, and Spotify. And also contextual players also playing a vital role in this industry, decreasing or cutting down our normal revenues for the telcos like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn plays a vital role in here. And on top of that, there are ecosystem players who are monopolize or who are controlling this market cable, they are Amazon, Google, especially Alibaba and Apple. So they set the trend that how the market should behave. Likewise, there are so many we can analyze about banking models, we can analyze about educational models, hotels sector. Every sector we can understand how novel players disrupting the conventional business models. With that, we can move on to another important area, which is called uh, breakthrough innovations. Now, when coming back to breakthrough innovation, it's all about changing the existing rules of the game in order to come up with a bold uh, and a very novel product or service. It's all actually it simply it breaks the normally followed rules. For example, at the time that people believed that Palm Treo-like devices are the real mobile phone, Apple came up with a very simply yet very powerful and beautiful product called iPhone. Hence, people still crazy now, crazy to buy. They behave like crazy in order to buy a newest iPhone because they believe that change. And there are so many such examples, and we need to understand some basic difference between disruptive innovation and a breakthrough innovation. That is really important to understand. For example, uh, 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 breakthrough innovation is an innovation which breaks the conventionally followed or normally followed rules, and that in order to come up with a totally new idea, something like at the time that people believe that horses are the powerful machine in the world, that some genius person came up with a idea called steam engine, something like that. Totally changed the way that people used to look at the transportation. But and also when at a time that people believe that you need to have some buttons and some very tough looking display icons and displays, and people believe that is the slowness is the normal way of using mobile phones. Then Apple came with a very fast, beautiful, aesthetically high mobile touch, a full touch mobile phone, and that completely changed the way that people used to use mobile phones. But that's called breakthrough innovation. But when it comes to disruptive innovation, actually, it uh, it it uh, it challenges the current business model by disrupting some of the offerings, some of the behaviors in the model. Without destroying the entire business, but changing the business model, and that too that some increased efficiency and cost effectiveness for the people. And that is the thin line between the breakthrough innovation and the disruptive innovation. And disruptive innovation would be, for example, that if you get a car industry, for example, if you have a Toyota, and those days gasoline-based vehicles were the market leaders, but then they disrupt they disrupt the market by introducing hybrid vehicles, then electric vehicles, semi-electric, then full electric. Likewise, they change they increase the fuel efficiency and give some cost benefit to the customers by disrupting the existing market. But it is not it's not a breakthrough because it didn't change the way that we used to transfer. Still, they are using four wheelers to drive nowadays, also four wheelers, but the way it behaves, operates is changed. Now, at the time that it introduced steam engine with the, let's say, with the vehicle, then compared to normally horse riders, it is completely breakthrough now. It's totally a machine that people use to transport, something like that. So you need to properly understand the difference between the breakthrough innovation and the disruptive innovation. And also, you need to understand that why people need to need to have what are the constraints related to the breakthrough innovation, especially resources wise and the focus wise, individual capacity wise. And also, if you think about this breakthrough innovation, like at the time that people used to read printed books, Amazon introduced the Kindle, the software version of the books that people could read, and that's breakthrough. And also, you can apply the same. You can assume the hotel industry, maybe entertainment industry, maybe textile industry, where you can, for example, in the textile industry, easily that you can think about uh, uh, how you can apply breakthroughs for the conventional fit, fit-ons, especially which is applied to current COVID scenarios. Also, you can use AR kind of technologies, the VR kind of technologies, or other mixed realities in order to give that the fit-on experience in a different format. Some likewise, you can think about how to add, especially food industry, how you can give the more aesthetically high, more useful information in a more pleasant manner using technology, especially in restaurants, something like that. You can think about that as well. That is some examples of the breakthroughs. Then we had another different kind of discussion about BCG matrix. Uh, the BCG matrix actually BCG matrix coming into picture because as a company we can use the BCG matrix in order to assess our current product portfolio, whether it is performing well or we need to invest more, we need to let go or sustain. We can have a proper decision making if we have a proper understanding about the BCG matrix, where it uh, it gives us information by understanding the relative market share as well as the market growth rate. So I encourage you to go through this lecture note properly to understand each and every segment in a proper manner, and also the understanding their benefits, especially to why we people use the benefit use the BCGs and the limitation it has. We have done a lot of examples, and also I encourage you to visit Refer UX Refer UX Facebook page and visit the. I have shared some sample example. I mean BCG sample question on how you can address such a question, and I hope this would be really beneficial to understand about how to answer a BCG based question. And also, when coming back to, I have shared with you two video lectures. That is one with the competitive business environment and also market entry strategies. And I also encourage you to go through these lectures and to understand about the what do you mean by the competitive environment, where a lot of people it's a dynamic system ecosystem where businesses are competing each other, where we have direct competitors and indirect competitors, and also we have uh, we also discuss about some factors like some models like licensing, um, and let me check, it's still loading. um, um, setting the fact that there are no internet connectivity, that is the reason. I think let me okay, now it should work. And you know that there we have this proper discussion about if there are so many sellers in the similar product like fast food industry, mobile phone industry, the more the competition is, because all of are trying to offer the same product or services in a very similar price ranges. So you need to differentiate your products and services in order to attract more customers. And also uh, same goes with the nowadays automobile industry as well. And the competitors, when come to competitors also, there are direct competitors and indirect competitors. We learn about that as well. And when coming into the constraints in this, especially this segment of competitive business environment. There are a couple of parameters come into picture like regulatories, intellectual properties, and also the competency levels. And I properly discussed throughout this lecture how the intellectual property coming into picture, regulatories coming into picture, how companies obtain benefits out of that, and competencies coming into picture. So those are the things that you need to understand, and especially when coming into a community environments. And also uh, during the market entry lecture, I explained you some of the models that we can adhere to, especially licensing, joint ventures and franchising methods that we can use to enter into markets. And there I discuss about advantages, disadvantages, and some examples. And I highly encourage you to go through them properly. And also, during the lectures, we also we have a discussion about what do you call risk and uncertainty. As you know, the risk is something, a situation where we know we can have a probabilistic, we know the probabilistic, we can have a probabilistic distribution of the outcomes. Where uncertain, we can't have any information about that. And and also we discuss about what are the parameters in industry which creates uncertainty, especially demand structures, suppliers, competitors, likewise. And also we discuss how to overcome them, and we try to understand how the risks, the further uncertainties coming into picture. And the business model canvas is one of the very important aspect that we can use to overcome or rather face what you call uncertainties, especially the business. And then we had a at final lecture. Before the final lecture, we had a good discussion about some organizational wise constraints, like you know, mm, called one such thing called uh, the group behavior, the culture, emotional process, and environmental aspects coming into picture. Then we discuss about uh, then about called organizational issues, where mainly resources and strategy and structure coming into picture. And also we discuss about some of the measures of innovation that where companies find it very difficult to very difficult to mm, justify the innovation. There we discussed how conventional measuring techniques can be converted into innovation format. And also we discuss about some industrial issues where competitors, suppliers, and markets with some examples. So I highly encourage you to go through this lecture note properly because and this is the only lecture note that discusses during the lectures about the constraint and how we can overcome those things. And also people, another issue with the industry is the the over efficiency that people focusing, especially when they have competition issues. Some people would like to perform in their uh, own competent area only. However, perhaps that would be uh, more when you are further and further improving or investing your competencies and all the resources in that particular area. What would happen is the sophistication of that product or service would be above what is expected by the customers, and that may not be feasible for the customers then. Hence, you need to have a uniform distribution of the investment of the resources on your product and services, especially when coming into um, competition issues in industrial issues. And also, we need to understand other aspects as well, like supplies and market issues in other industrial issues. And so, in summary, those are the things that we discussed during the latter part of the lecture, especially disruptive innovation, differentiation, breakthrough innovation, BCG matrix, and then risks and uncertainties finally, and also business model canvases, and finally, the constraint like group, organizational, industrial coming into picture when you're doing innovation management. So that's what I wanted to share with you actually as a recap. And I tried to share with you some of the important aspects that you need to pay attention, especially when you're facing examination. And if and some special areas that I pinpointed, and I would recommend you to go through them in a very serious manner. And in final note, I would like you to request to visit the Free for UX Facebook page to get more updated information about the lecture notes and the other aspects and other other academic areas. And also frequently visit. I request you to visit Free for UX YouTube channel as well, where you can learn about the modern and very needy components of the industrial knowledge. And I really encourage urge your support on with your subscribes, likes, and shares and comments on the content that Refer UX Facebook says, as well as the Refer UX YouTube channel. And with that note, I would like to wish you very all the best for their final examination, and hope we will meet in industry one day. And there maybe at that time I won't be your sir or other lecturer. I will be your fellow colleague, and we'll meet, we'll discuss, and we'll collaborate. And wish you all the best. Good luck, and don't get panic. Uh, Please share. Always try to answers with your creativity as well as application in the practical world. That would solve the puzzle in a better manner. Good luck. Thank you.